Avsheni Africa, and welcome to Paseta School YouTube channel. My name is Su Chayeza Mashele, Ntukulu Wakamnisi, Mema Lefani. Guys, please don't be alarmed. From time to time, you will be seeing my face on the channel, as I am a part of Paseta's media and marketing team. And the team and I will be pushing the Paseta brand going forward. So sometimes you will not get to see King Said So. Instead, you'll get to meet different members from the media and marketing team as we introduce ourselves to you and share with you our dream and passion for building Paseta.
Every year on the 31st of July, we pause. We remember the women of Africa. This day is not just another date on the calendar. It is a day filled with the stories of our mothers, our grandmothers, and the women who came before them. It is called Africa Women's Day. It is a time to celebrate their strength, their spirit, and their unending fight for a better world. We celebrate them because their stories are our stories. They have shaped the land we walk on and the air we breathe. Their voices echo in our homes and in our parliaments, a constant reminder of where we come from and the futures we must build. This special day exists because African women have always been at the center of our communities. They have been the keepers of our traditions and the drivers of change. They have faced great hardships with a quiet dignity that is powerful. Think of the woman who sells vegetables in the market, her hands worn from work, her spirit bright. Think of the teacher who shapes young minds, planting seeds of knowledge and hope. These are the women we honor. Africa Women's Day is a promise to them. It is a promise that we will see them, we will hear them, and we will continue the work they started with so much courage. The importance of this day is woven into the very fabric of our continent's history. It is a recognition of the double burden that many African women have carried. They fought not only for the freedom of their nations, but also for their own freedom as women. They fought against colonial rulers from outside and against unfair traditions from within. Their struggle was complex, a battle on many fronts. On Africa Women's Day, we do not just celebrate their victories. We also acknowledge their pain, their sacrifices, and the long, difficult road they walked so that their daughters might have a different, better journey. So when the 31st of July arrives, let us make it more than just a passing moment. Let us tell the stories of these women to our children. Let us listen to the wisdom of our elders. Let us look at the women around us, in our families and our communities, and see the heroines they truly are. Their strength is a quiet river that has carved canyons through mountains of injustice. This day is a tribute to that silent, persistent power. It is a day to say thank you, to remember, and to recommit ourselves to the dream of true equality for all. It is a day for Africa's heart. The story of Africa Women's Day begins with a powerful idea: unity. In 1962, a group of remarkable women gathered in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. They came from all corners of the continent, from countries newly independent and from those still fighting for their freedom. They were leaders, activists, and dreamers. Together, they formed the Pan-African Women's Organization, or PAWO. This was not just another meeting. It was the birth of a movement. It was a declaration that the women of Africa would no longer be silent spectators in the story of their continent. They would be the authors of their own destiny. The purpose of PAWO was simple, yet profound. These women wanted to unite all African women in the struggle for liberation. They knew that colonialism and apartheid could not be defeated without the full participation of women. They also understood that political freedom alone was not enough. They fought for social and economic justice, for the right to education, for healthcare, and for an end to harmful practices that held women back. The organization became a powerful voice, speaking for the rights of women in the halls of power, from the Organization of African Unity to the United Nations. PAWO believed that the strength of Africa was in its people, and that women were the backbone of its communities. They worked to empower women at the grassroots level, in villages and towns across the continent. They created programs to teach literacy, to improve farming techniques, and to support women starting their own businesses. They understood that when a woman is empowered, she empowers her family and her entire community. Their work was practical and hands-on. It was about building a better future, one woman, one family, one village at a time, creating a network of strength that spanned the continent. The creation of Africa Women's Day on July 31st was one of PAWO's first and most enduring acts. They chose this date to commemorate that first historic conference in Dar es Salaam. It was to be a day of mobilization, a day to reflect on the challenges that remained, and to celebrate the progress that had been made. PAWO laid the foundation. They showed the world that African women were not just victims of history. They were powerful agents of change, united by a shared vision of a free, peaceful, and prosperous Africa, where both men and women could achieve their fullest potential. The history of Africa is a history of resistance, and women were always at the forefront of this fight. Long before the world spoke of feminism, African women were resisting oppression with fierce courage. They fought against the horrors of the slave trade, against the arrogance of colonial rulers, and against the inhumanity of apartheid. Their weapons were not always guns and spears. Their weapons were their spirit, their intelligence, their unity, and their unshakable belief in freedom. They organized protests, they led rebellions, they hid freedom fighters, and they kept their cultures and traditions alive in the face of erasure. Consider the Aba Women's War of 1929 in my own homeland, Nigeria. When the British colonial authorities tried to impose a new tax on market women, thousands of Igbo women rose up in protest. They were not silent. They did not ask for permission. They organized themselves using their traditional networks to spread the word. They marched in their thousands, their voices rising as one, demanding justice. They challenged the very foundation of colonial power. The British were shocked. They had underestimated the strength and resolve of these women. It was a powerful lesson that echoed across the continent. In South Africa, the fight against apartheid saw the rise of countless heroines. Women like Lillian Ngoyi, Helen Joseph, Rahima Musa, and Sophia Williams de Bruin led the historic Women's March to the Union Buildings in Pretoria in 1956. 20,000 women of all races marched together to protest the hated pass laws, which restricted the movement of Black South Africans. Their chant, Wathintabafazi, Wathintimbokodo, which means you strike a woman, you strike a rock, became the anthem of the struggle. It was a powerful declaration that they would not be broken. These stories of resistance are not isolated incidents. All across Africa, women stood up. In Angola, Queen Nzinga Mbande led a decades-long war against the Portuguese